So, for years, we've heard one consistent story. Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman convicted for her role in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring, has always said she was just on the sidelines. But what if thousands of private emails told a totally different story? Okay, let's get into this, because newly reported messages from Epstein's own inbox are challenging everything we thought we knew. And this is the line she's stuck to. Through her trial, even in recent interviews with law enforcement, her claim was pretty simple, really. Her role was minimal. She managed his homes, and that's it. She was kept in the dark about what Epstein was really doing. Right, but this is where that whole story just completely unravels. We're talking about a cache of over 18,000 emails obtained by Bloomberg News from Epstein's personal Yahoo account. And they don't paint a picture of an employee. They paint a picture of an intimate partner, a core operator in his entire world. What we have here is a direct window into Jeffrey Epstein's inner circle. But maybe more importantly, it shows us the true role of his closest confidant, right there in her own words and her own actions. And look, the sheer volume here is it's staggering. These emails mostly focus on the years 2005 to 2008, which is exactly when Epstein's legal problems were exploding. And during that super critical time, he and Maxwell exchanged at least 650 messages. They covered everything from, the totally mundane to the deeply, deeply incriminating. All right, so let's use this evidence and just pick apart her official story piece by piece. We're going to look at what she claimed and then see how it stacks up against the reality we're finding in Epstein's inbox. Okay, so here's the first major contradiction. It's a big one. Maxwell claimed her role was, and I quote, very, very diminished by the time Epstein went to jail in June of 2008. But the emails, they show they sent each other over 200 messages in just the first half of that year alone. That is more than one email a day. Does that sound diminished to you? You see, it wasn't just that they were talking a lot. Their connection was deeply personal, even when things were falling apart. Just days after a police raid in 2005, they were emailing about shared fertility treatments. When he had a medical emergency, she was the one he credited with helping him. And as his whole empire was crumbling in 2008, who was by his side? She was, helping sell off his assets. I mean, these are the actions of a partner, not a property manager. And this partnership, it went way beyond personal. It was deeply financial. We're seeing details for the first time that show just how tangled up she was. She was a named director on one of his companies, she was using his address for her foreign bank accounts, and she was actively trading stock right alongside him. This is not an employee. This is a core business partner. But, Maxwell's role wasn't just about managing money or personal crises. It went so much further. The emails show she was also the main architect of Epstein's most valuable asset, his social network, the thing that gave him access to the world's most powerful people. She was, for all intents and purposes, the key. She used her own connections from a life spent in high society. She was the one opening all the doors, setting up the meetings, and making sure Epstein stayed in the orbit of presidents, innovators, and icons. And the names involved? Just look at this. The emails talk about meetings with Bill Clinton and her work with his foundation. She was advising Epstein on how to court Google co-founder Sergey Brin. In one really fascinating exchange, Epstein actually tells her to remove Trump from a list of power brokers they were putting together. And another email shows the office of then-Governor Bill Richardson asking Maxwell if they could use Epstein's jet. She wasn't just in the network, she was the gatekeeper. But look, this whole network wasn't just built on a smile and a handshake. No way. It was carefully maintained with money and gifts. And the details? They were tracked with a kind of chilling precision. And this is where we really see Maxwell's knowledge of both the influence peddling and the criminal cover-up. So attached to an email from Epstein's accountant was this spreadsheet. It listed out nearly 2,000 items that were given out between 2003 and 2006. And the total? A mind-boggling $1.8 million. It shows every single dollar was spent with a very specific purpose. And when you look at this spreadsheet, it really tells a story of two very different strategies working at the same time. On one side, you have these lavish gifts meant to influence the powerful, a Lexus for a lawyer, a crazy expensive watch for an aide to Bill Clinton, and on the other side, payments meant to control victims, lingerie for a teenager, a laptop for another, and just cash for their families, a tool to make sure they stayed silent and compliant. And here's the smoking gun, right? The direct link.
Her own initials, GM, appear right next to over 250 of these entries. That indicates she helped arrange and hand out these items, tying her directly to both the carrots for the powerful and the tools of control for the abused.
Okay, this next one, this might just be the most damning email in the entire collection. It's May 2008. His lawyers are finalizing that plea deal down in Florida, but Epstein doesn't just talk to his legal team. He emails Ghislaine Maxwell to ask for her strategic advice on the exact charges he should plead guilty to. And in her reply, it is just so chillingly casual. It's a calculated, strategic response. I mean, come on, this is not some out-of-the-loop property manager. This is a co-conspirator, a partner in crime helping to strategize his legal defense. This one single exchange absolutely shatters her entire story. And you know what? Her work as a fixer didn't stop there. It went on for years. As she was facing legal trouble in 2015, the emails show her actively trying to discredit accuser Virginia Giuffre. She asks Epstein for his legal file on her, she sends around an old confidential police report to undermine her credibility, and then, a little while later, a news story pops up citing those exact same points. It is a clear pattern of weaponizing information to silence a victim. So, when you put it all together, these emails, well, they leave pretty much zero doubt about the true nature of Ghislaine Maxwell's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. She wasn't his subordinate, she was his partner. But the story doesn't just end with her.
And that, right there, is the big question that's left hanging in the air. While these emails totally solidify Maxwell's role, they also shine a bright light on that huge web of politicians, business leaders, and celebrities who took the jet rides, accepted the gifts, and enjoyed the access. Epstein's inbox might be closed, but the questions it raises about who knew what and when they knew it, those remain wide open.